Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if you've been ignoring the very signs that could change your entire destiny? What if, right now, angels are trying to reach you, and you keep walking past their messages blind to the help you've been begging for? Think about it. Every missed sign is a missed chance. Every ignored whisper could be the difference between safety and falling deeper into struggle. And if you keep overlooking them, you may never know the guidance that was meant to protect you. This is not a game. This is not coincidence. It is urgency, because angels are said to visit us in rare, powerful moments, and when they do, they leave signs that vanish as quickly as they appear. If you miss them, they may not return. Science has shown us that the human brain constantly filters out signals from the environment. That means, right now, you could be standing in the middle of divine communication, and your mind has simply decided not to see it. Neuroscience calls it inattentional blindness. Spirituality calls it a wake-up call. Across America, countless stories echo the same truth. A woman in Chicago found a single white feather on her pillow the very night she prayed for help to survive a divorce. She chose to see it as a message, and that choice gave her the courage to rebuild her entire life. So ask yourself, how many signs have you already missed? How many feathers, lights, or sounds have you brushed aside as nothing? And what could happen if you opened your eyes now, before it's too late? Pause. Listen, because if you keep ignoring these messages, you might lose the very guidance that was sent to save you. But let's dig deeper. Imagine waking up every morning with the quiet, nagging thought that something is missing. That invisible pull inside your chest whispering, there must be more. You scroll through your phone, you rush into your day, you push it down. But late at night, when the noise fades, that whisper grows louder. What if that whisper isn't random? What if it's a signal, waiting for you to notice? Studies from Harvard Business Review reveal something remarkable. People who act on intuitive opportunities, the little nudges, the gut feelings, are 3 times more likely to succeed than those who ignore them. 3 times more likely to step into alignment with breakthroughs, connections, and outcomes they never thought possible. That's not superstition, that's science. But science is only half the story. Picture this. A young woman in New York, exhausted from chasing success, dreams of a door. Behind the door, she senses opportunity. But she wakes up, shrugs it off, and ignores the dream. Days later, she receives an email for a position she longed for, but doubts herself, hesitates, and misses the deadline. She tells herself it wasn't meant to be. Weeks pass. Another dream comes. This time, she listens. She takes action immediately. That leap transforms her career, launching her forward like a rocket breaking through gravity. Now ask yourself, how many doors have appeared in your dreams? How many times have you hesitated, only to realize too late that hesitation cost you everything? This isn't about luck. This isn't about chance. This is about recognizing the urgency of the signs laid out before you. Because every moment you delay, you step deeper into the cycle of doubt, procrastination, and regret. And here is the truth most people are too afraid to admit. If you keep ignoring those signals, you will keep repeating the same loops. Missed opportunities, unanswered prayers, doors closed before you even knock. But you don't have to live like that. You can choose differently. You can decide right here, right now, that the next sign will not slip past you unseen, that you will listen, trust, and act. So I ask you, will you? Will you ignore these messages and continue in the same endless cycle, or will you break free? This is your wake-up call. This is the moment you stop treating life like it's a rehearsal. There are no rehearsals. There's only right now. This breath, this choice. The signs are not waiting for you forever. They appear for a reason, at a time, in a place designed just for you. Miss them, and the path may close. Notice them, and the path opens wide. It's simple, but it is not easy. Because choosing to see means choosing to act. And action demands courage. Courage to step out of hesitation. Courage to trust your intuition. Courage to believe that guidance is real, that love surrounds you, that support is closer than you think. So ask yourself again, what if the very sign you've been praying for is about to appear? What if the feather on the street, the ringing in your ear, the flicker of light in the corner of your vision is the message you've been waiting for? Would you notice? Would you act? Or would you turn away, convincing yourself it's nothing until it's gone? This is your crossroads, and the choice you make now echoes into everything that comes next. So don't let this moment slip. Don't let your fear, your doubt, or your hesitation silence the voice calling to you, because once the moment passes, it may never return. Now is the time to act. Now is the time to listen. Now is the time to decide that you will no longer walk blind to the guidance meant for you. So here is my challenge to you. Comment right now, I am ready. Write it. Declare it. Because when you speak it, you anchor it. When you declare it, you choose it. And when you choose it, the universe responds. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Say it now, I am ready. And then open your eyes, open your heart, and prepare yourself for the signs that are already on their way. Because they are coming, and if you are ready, they will change everything. But if you are not, they may pass you by. So decide, right here, right now. Are you ready? Say it, comment it, own it. I am ready, and feel the shift begin. Yes, it is not an illusion. The most successful people have relied on intuition and signals to change the entire course of their lives. Think about that for a moment. What if the very secret behind their extraordinary achievements is not something outside of you, but something already alive inside your own mind? What if every giant leap, every empire built, every world-changing idea began with nothing more than a whisper from within? Steve Jobs once said, "Intuition is more powerful than intellect." Pause and let that sink in. More powerful than intellect. This was a man who reshaped the way the world communicates, yet he admitted openly that it was not pure logic that guided him. It was the quiet, undeniable pull of intuition. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in history, revealed that every major decision in her life was directed by that same inner compass. She called it a voice, a knowing, a force beyond reason, and she trusted it even when the world told her otherwise. So here is the question for you. If intuition has guided the greatest visionaries of our time, why would you ignore yours? Why would you silence that inner voice that is trying to move you toward your own destiny? Science itself has proven what ancient wisdom has always whispered. Neuroscience tells us that intuition is not guesswork. It is the subconscious processing of massive amounts of information at lightning speed, faster than logic, faster than reason, faster than conscious thought. While your rational mind struggles step by step, your intuition leaps ahead, connecting dots you cannot see. This is why moments of intuition feel instant, like lightning striking in the dark. It is the sum of hidden knowledge transformed into a single powerful push, and the smartest, boldest people in the world have learned to obey it. Elon Musk once admitted that his decision to sell PayPal, the very company that made him wealthy, was not purely rational. It was a powerful feeling he could not ignore. Everyone thought he was reckless, but he followed the signal. He listened to the inner voice that said, go. And from that choice came SpaceX, Tesla, and a legacy that will echo through history. Now pause. Ask yourself this. How many times have you felt that same powerful nudge, that sense of knowing without explanation? And how many times have you smothered it with doubt, fear, or hesitation? What would your life look like right now if you had trusted those whispers? If you had stepped into them boldly the way Jobs, Oprah, and Musk did? Would you be standing exactly where you are, or would your world look completely different? This is the hidden key. The wealthy, the powerful, the visionaries, they are not different species. They are human, just like you. The only difference is this. When the signs appear, when the intuition calls, they act. They don't wait. They don't hesitate. They don't talk themselves out of it. They trust, they leap, and they create. And this is where the urgency comes in, because intuition is not permanent. It is fleeting. It arrives in flashes, in whispers and dreams, and if you don't seize it, it disappears. Gone. Lost. Leaving you with nothing but the dull ache of what could have been. So let me ask you directly, are you ready to stop ignoring the signals? Are you ready to live with the same trust that carried the greatest names in history to their destiny? This is not about chance. This is not about luck. It is about alignment. It is about daring to listen when the inner voice calls, even if the world thinks you're crazy. Because here is the truth. Every extraordinary story begins with someone who dared to trust a feeling, and every tragedy of regret begins with someone who ignored it. Which one will you be? The path is right in front of you. The signs are already appearing. The whispers are already inside of you, but only you can decide whether you will listen. So right now, make your choice. If you believe intuition can open doors for you, then declare it. Write it. Anchor it into your life by typing the words, "I trust myself." Say it now. Comment it below and hit like so that this moment is locked into your memory as the day you chose to stop ignoring your inner power. Don't wait. Don't let this moment slip into silence, because the people you admire most, the legends of our time, did not hesitate. They trusted, they acted, and the world transformed because of it. So again, I ask you, what about you? What if your entire future is waiting behind the very sign you've been ignoring? What if the whisper that has been haunting you is not random, but your destiny calling? The successful ones have shown us the way. Now it's your turn. But the question is, how can you, an ordinary person, begin to recognize and act on these signs in the chaos of daily life? How can you unlock the extraordinary from within the ordinary? That is exactly what we're going to uncover next. By listening and by acting, you will begin to see the extraordinary hidden inside the ordinary parts of your life. Think about that. Extraordinary is not reserved for the chosen few. It is not locked away behind fame, wealth, or privilege. It is waiting for you in the quiet corners of your daily existence, in the simple details you overlook. Have you ever brushed off a strange coincidence? A phone call that came at the exact moment you needed it? A feather that appeared out of nowhere? A coin on the ground that caught your eye for no reason at all? Most people dismiss these things. They call them random. They laugh them off. But what if those were signals meant only for you? What if the universe has been whispering directly into your world and you've been too distracted to hear it? Psychology has a name for this: selective attention. When you shift your focus, the world itself seems to change. Opportunities, clues, and connections that were always there suddenly light up like a trail of stars. You don't create them, you finally see them. Now imagine this: a single mother in Texas, struggling, exhausted, carrying the weight of raising her daughter alone, bills piling up, dreams slipping away. But one day, she notices a coin on the sidewalk. She bends down. It has the exact year of her daughter's birth. She feels something stir inside her. A message, a reminder. You are not forgotten. You are supported. And then it happens again. Another coin, same year, different place, and then again. Most people would ignore it, but she doesn't. She pays attention. She starts writing them down, keeping each coin like a sacred token. Soon those small signs become her anchor, her courage, the fire she needed to take one bold step forward. She uses that fire to open a tiny shop. At first, nothing glamorous, just a small business, but fueled by the belief that she is guided, she pushes forward. And that shop grows, and her life begins to change. It all began with a coin most people would have walked past without a second thought. So let me ask you, how many signs have already passed through your life unnoticed? How many whispers have you silenced with distraction? How many reminders of your strength and guidance have you thrown away as meaningless? You see, the truth is this: greatness rarely arrives as a thunderclap. It begins as a feather, a sound, a flicker of light, a coin, the smallest spark that, when honored, ignites into a blazing fire. The extraordinary hides inside the ordinary, but only for those who are willing to see it, only for those who are willing to listen, and only for those who dare to act. Because paying attention is only the beginning. Awareness is the first step. But what you do with that awareness, that is where the transformation happens. Most people notice, few respond, and fewer still act. But those who do, their lives are never the same. So pause right now. Ask yourself, when was the last time the universe tapped you on the shoulder? When was the last time a moment seemed too perfect, too aligned, too impossible to be random? Did you ignore it, or did you lean in? And more importantly, what will you do the next time it happens? This is where urgency enters, because the signs will not wait forever. They appear, they vanish, they pass like fleeting shadows. If you do not claim them, they are gone. But if you claim them, if you hold them, if you act on them, your life begins to bend toward the extraordinary. That is why I challenge you now. Do not just watch, do not just listen. Try it. Experiment with your own life. The next time you see something unusual, a feather, a light, a coin, a phone call, a chance meeting, pause. Ask yourself, is this meant for me? And then choose to act as if it is. Because here is the secret. Whether it is chance or destiny, when you act, the result becomes real. You create meaning, you shape reality. And slowly, steadily, the world begins to shift. So tell me, are you willing to try? Are you willing to search for the extraordinary in the ordinary moments of your life? If you are, declare it now. Type these words in the comments. I will pay attention. Write it. Own it. Let it be the seed of your awareness from this moment on. Do not underestimate this. A single declaration can set in motion a chain of events you cannot yet imagine, because what you acknowledge grows stronger, what you declare gathers power, and what you act upon transforms everything. So again, I ask you, will you open your eyes? Will you dare to notice what others overlook? Will you claim the guidance that is already waiting in your path? Say it now. I will pay attention. Because once you do, you will see, you will hear, and you will realize that the extraordinary has been waiting inside your ordinary life all along. But that is only the beginning, because noticing the signs is one thing. The real transformation happens when you not only notice, but act. So let's take this further. What happens when you don't just pay attention, but leap into action the moment the signs appear? What happens when hesitation dies and courage takes its place? That is the next secret you must uncover. That is the moment you break the chains of hesitation and step boldly into the flow of destiny. Can you feel it? That single breath where everything inside you screams to wait, to pause, to overthink. And yet, if you act in that very instant, everything changes. When you move immediately, you send a message back to the universe. You declare, I am ready. I will no longer sit on the sidelines of my own life, because hesitation is a thief. It steals your momentum. It drains your courage. It convinces you that tomorrow will be safer, easier, better. But tomorrow never comes. Only right now exists. Science has proven this truth. Psychology Today revealed that when you act within the first 5 seconds of a thought, you override the part of the brain designed to generate fear. 5 seconds. That is the window between freedom and paralysis, between movement and regret. Mel Robbins understood this. Her life was falling apart. Marriage, career, finances all collapsing. One morning she saw a rocket launch on television and she thought, tomorrow I will launch myself out of bed like a rocket. The next day, when the alarm went off, she counted down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and moved. That single action shattered the weight of procrastination. It became her 5-second rule, and it changed everything. She rebuilt her life, wrote a best-selling book, and inspired millions because she discovered the hidden power of immediate action. Now pause and ask yourself, how many times have you felt the urge to move, to speak, to begin, and instead you froze? How many dreams have you left buried under layers of hesitation? You see, destiny does not wait. It does not negotiate. It does not linger patiently for you to feel ready. Destiny is seized in the moment you decide to leap before doubt can drown you. And here lies the secret most people never learn. Confidence does not come before action. It comes after. You build confidence by proving to yourself again and again that you are capable of moving despite the fear. Think of the chains you carry. Chains of delay. Chains of overthinking. Chains of fear disguised as logic. Every time you hesitate, those chains tighten. But every time you act immediately, even in the smallest way, one of those chains breaks. Imagine breaking them all. Imagine the freedom. Imagine the momentum of a life where you no longer stall at the edge of opportunity, you leap. So let me ask you directly, what would happen if you began living by this rule right now? What would happen if, every time your heart whispered an idea, you gave yourself 5 seconds to move before fear could silence you? How many doors would swing open? How many opportunities would you finally claim? This is not about being reckless. It is about being ready. It is about aligning yourself with the flow of your own destiny instead of standing in its way. And here is the truth. Every time you take immediate action or response, it rewards movement. It opens paths and is invisible to those who stand still. So I challenge you, do not wait. Do not think yourself into another circle of doubt. Act now. Today. If you feel the pull, if you feel the urgency rising in your chest as you listen, anchor it in this moment. Type these words below. I will act now. Declare it. Because once you declare it, hesitation loses its power. This is how you rewrite your story. Not tomorrow, not someday, but in the next 5 seconds. So let me ask you again. Are you ready to break the chains? Are you ready to stop being the prisoner of procrastination and step into the current of your destiny? Say it now. Hangdong Ye, I will act now. and feel the energy shift. Feel the weight fall away, because from this moment forward, you are no longer the person who waits. You are the person who moves. And yet, a question remains. If action is the key to freedom, what about fear? What about the shadows that rise up inside you, whispering that you're not enough, that you will fail, that you should stay safe? How do you face them and win? That is what you must discover next. Fear is nothing more than an illusion, a story your brain creates to keep you trapped in the comfort of safety. It feels real, it feels heavy, it feels unshakable. But at its core, fear is a trick, a shadow projected by your own mind. Why does it exist? Because your brain is wired for survival, not greatness. It doesn't want you to take risks, it doesn't want you to grow, it doesn't want you to leap into the unknown. So it builds cages made of fear to keep you in the zone it calls safe. But here's the truth you must hear. If you let fear control you, you lose everything. You lose opportunities. You lose moments that could transform your life. You lose the version of yourself that you were meant to become. Science has proven this. Neuroscience shows that fear is triggered in a tiny part of the brain called the amygdala. It fires when danger is near. But here's the catch. Your brain cannot tell the difference between real danger and imagined danger. The same reaction that once saved your ancestors from predators now stops you from taking the stage, starting the business, or making the leap. But what if you could reprogram this? What if you could train your brain to see fear not as a wall, but as a doorway? Because you can. Action is the key. Every time you act in the face of fear, you rewrite the wiring. You prove to yourself the fear is not real, and the cage begins to crack. Let me tell you a story. A young man in California lived in the shadow of failure. He dreamed of starting his own company, but fear screamed louder than his desire. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? What if I'm not enough? For years, he stayed stuck, but one day he decided to test it. He took one small step. He registered his business, and then another step. He built his product. Step by step, he moved forward, each action stripping power from the fear. By 28, that same young man was a millionaire. The fear that once chained him became the fuel that drove him. Because he discovered a truth most never realize: the only way out of fear is through it. So I ask you now, what fears are holding you hostage? What dreams have you locked away because fear told you they were impossible? And what if those fears are nothing but smoke? Illusions that vanish the moment you walk through them? Think of all the times you hesitated because of fear. Did the sky fall? Did the world end? No. But what did you lose? You lost the chance to grow, the chance to rise, the chance to step into the life that is waiting for you. And here's the paradox. The life you want the most is hiding in the place you fear the most. Fear is the guardian of greatness, and only those who face it pass through to the other side. So here is your moment. Will you keep letting fear dictate your choices, or will you finally step forward, even with trembling hands, and declare, enough? Say it with me now. I am stronger than fear. Write it in the comments. Claim it with your voice, with your hand, with your action. With your action. Because the moment you declare it, the illusion weakens. Fear only survives in silence. When you speak against it, it begins to dissolve. When you act against it, it disappears entirely. So declare it now. I am stronger than fear. This is how you break free. This is how you claim your life. This is how you stop being the prisoner of illusions and become the master of your destiny. And when you break through, something extraordinary appears. Because beyond the illusion of fear lies a treasure, a force that has been waiting for you all along. Your inner strength, your true power, your unshakable self. So let me ask you one final question. When the fear fades and the illusion crumbles, what will rise up in its place? That is what we are about to uncover next. That power has always been within you, waiting for you to call its name. Think about it. How many times have you searched outside yourself, looking for answers, guidance, validation? When the truth is, the force you seek has been inside you all along. No teacher, no book, no mentor can hand you the keys to your destiny, because you already hold them. No one else can claim control of your life. Only you can. And here is the secret most people never hear. The universe is not random. It is a mirror. It reflects back to you the energy you project. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, they are not invisible. They are signals, frequencies. They ripple out into reality and bend it around you. Quantum Physics Review says it clearly. Consciousness is the creator of reality. Your awareness, your focus, your intention shapes the world you walk in. This is not just philosophy, it is science. Energy responds to energy. What you radiate, you attract. So pause. Ask yourself, what energy have you been sending? Doubt, fear, defeat, or courage, vision, and certainty? Because the world is echoing back exactly what you give it. And this is why some people rise while others remain stuck. It is not luck, it is alignment. Those who learn to harness their inner power rewrite their fate. Muhammad Ali understood this. Before the world ever called him a champion, he declared it himself. I am the greatest, he said. Not once, but every day. He spoke it until his body, his mind, his spirit aligned with the declaration, and he proved it in the ring. He turned words into reality, belief into victory, intention into destiny. Now let me ask you, what are you declaring every day? Are you repeating the story of your limits, or are you calling forth your strength? Because the story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. This is why the greatest transformation begins not outside, but within. The power you've been waiting for is not coming from the world. It is waiting inside you, longing for you to unlock it. So how do you awaken it? You claim it, you speak it, you act as though it is already true. When you say, I am a creator, you send a signal. When you act on that belief, you anchor the signal into reality. And step by step, reality bends to match the energy you radiate. This is not fantasy. This is the law of consciousness. The law that has built empires, healed lives, and reshaped destinies. But here's the danger. If you do not claim your inner power, something else will. Your fears, your doubts, the expectations of others, they will pull you backward, keeping you trapped in a life smaller than the one you were born for. So ask yourself now, are you ready to rise into your strength? Are you ready to stop waiting for permission and finally declare, I am the creator of my life? This is your moment, not tomorrow, not someday, now. So anchor it, write it, speak it, type it into the comments below. I am the creator. Say it with conviction, say it with fire. Because when you speak it, you activate it. And when you activate it, nothing can hold you back. Imagine the power of thousands of voices declaring together, I am the creator. That is not just words. That is an energy field. That is a wave of power that reshapes everything it touches. So join in, be part of that wave. Declare it now. Because your life is waiting to be rewritten. Your story is waiting to be reclaimed. And the only one who can do it is you. But now a new challenge arises. Because once you awaken this strength, you must learn how to keep it alive, how to hold on to it when doubt creeps back, how to stay connected to your higher self instead of being dragged back by ego. So the question is this: how do you protect your connection to inner power and stop the ego from pulling you into the shadows again? That is exactly what we will uncover next. You connect with your higher self by living authentically, without masks, without pretending, without hiding who you truly are. Think about it. How many times in your life have you put on a mask just to be accepted? How often have you silenced your real thoughts, buried your real feelings, all to fit into an image that was never yours? And after all that pretending, did you feel fulfilled? Or did you feel empty, disconnected, lost? The truth is simple, but most people run from it. You cannot reach your higher self while living a lie. Your soul knows when you are faking, your energy knows when you are shrinking. And the universe responds to authenticity, not illusion. When you live aligned with your values, something powerful happens. You unlock a higher level of consciousness, a state where clarity comes easier, peace runs deeper, and courage flows more freely. This is not philosophy. This is proven. The Positive Psychology Journal reveals that authenticity increases happiness, resilience, and mental strength. Living true to yourself is not just spiritual, it is biological. Your brain rewards truth. Your body thrives when your inner world matches your outer actions. When you are authentic, stress falls, vitality rises, and energy multiplies. But here's the catch. Authenticity demands courage, because living your truth often means stepping out of the roles others assign to you. It means breaking free from expectations, from cultural masks, from the fear of judgment, and not everyone will applaud you, but your higher self will. Jim Carrey once confessed, I wore a mask to make people laugh, but only when I started being real did I find peace. This is a man who had fame, wealth, and recognition, yet still felt hollow until he dared to live authentically. Only when he stopped performing for approval did he discover the calm and freedom that were missing all along. So, let me ask you, are you still hiding behind a mask? Are you still bending your truth to keep others comfortable? And if so, how much longer will you silence the voice of your higher self just to keep playing a role that was never written for you? Here is the truth you cannot escape. Your higher self does not want the fake version of you. It wants the real one, the flawed one, the honest one, the version that is raw, vulnerable, and unapologetically true. Because that version carries the power, that version carries the connection. That version opens the door to wisdom, love, and guidance you cannot access through pretending. So here's your invitation. Stop hiding, stop shrinking, stop pretending to be what you are not. The moment you choose to live authentically, you create a bridge to your higher self. And once you walk across it, you will never go back. So I challenge you now, are you willing to make that choice? Are you willing to choose truth over approval, to choose authenticity over fear, to choose alignment over illusion? If your answer is yes, then anchor it right now. Type these words in the comments. I choose truth. Write it. Declare it. Because when you choose truth, you choose freedom. And when you choose freedom, you connect to the highest part of yourself. Imagine thousands of people all declaring, I choose truth. That is not just a phrase. That is an energy wave, a declaration that authenticity is more powerful than fear. And when you step into that wave, you find yourself carried to a higher plane of strength and clarity. But remember, this is not only about you. Because once you start living authentically, something else happens. You begin to connect more deeply with others. Your relationships shift. Your influence grows. Your presence becomes magnetic because authenticity creates resonance. People are drawn to those who are real, not perfect, not polished, real. They feel it, they trust it, they crave it. And that leads to the next revelation. If truth connects you to yourself, how can it also create powerful connections with the people around you? That is exactly what we will explore next. By sharing, you transform your personal story into collective power. Think about that for a moment. Your pain, your struggles, your victories, when locked inside, they remain small, private, almost invisible. But the second you open your heart, the second you let someone else see it, it becomes more than your own. It becomes a bridge, a lifeline, a spark that ignites resonance in another human soul. Because people don't connect through perfection. They connect through emotion, through honesty, through the raw moments that reveal, I am human, just like you. And here's the truth. When you open yourself, you give others permission to open too. Your vulnerability becomes their courage. Your story becomes their mirror. And what was once a single voice becomes a chorus. Science has proven this. Sociological studies show that sharing personal experiences builds sustainable trust within communities. It is not small talk or empty words that create bonds. It is authenticity, stories, lived truths. This is how tribes form. This is how movements rise. This is how strangers become family. Across America, the evidence is everywhere. In New York City, a small support group began with just a handful of people sharing their struggles. They spoke of loss, of fear, of battles with life's heaviest weights. At first, it was quiet, hesitant, but as one voice spoke, another answered. As one story unfolded, another echoed, and that echo became resonance. Today, that same group has thousands of members, not because someone advertised it, but because connection cannot be contained. People felt seen, heard, understood. And when you feel understood, you return, you grow, you bring others with you. So ask yourself right now, what story are you holding back? What part of your journey could become someone else's survival guide? What piece of your truth could ripple outward and touch a stranger in ways you'll never fully know? Because your silence might be keeping someone else in the dark, but your voice could be the light they've been waiting for. This is why connection is more than comfort. It is power, collective power. When you share, you stop being one and start becoming many. Your words are no longer just yours. They belong to the hearts that hear them. And those hearts carry them forward, multiplying the impact beyond anything you imagined. So don't underestimate the force of resonance. When thousands of hearts beat in rhythm, when thousands of souls align on the same frequency, reality begins to shift. Movements are born, healing spreads, dreams awaken, and it all begins with one voice choosing to speak. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to share your story? Are you ready to let your truth ripple outward and merge with the voices of thousands watching this very moment? If you are, then show it. Then show it. Anchor it. Right now, leave a heart in the comments. Not just as a symbol, a signal that says, I am here, I am part of this, I choose connection. Imagine what happens when thousands of hearts flood the screen. That is not decoration, that is energy. That is proof that you are not alone and neither is anyone else watching. So send your heart now, join the collective wave, be part of something greater than yourself. Because here's the real secret. Once you learn to connect this way, you begin to shape more than community. You begin to shape identity. Your voice, your story, your truth, woven into the collective fabric, becomes a unique signature, a resonance that belongs only to you, yet echoes through everyone you touch. And that leads to the next question, the next challenge. If connection creates resonance, how can you turn that resonance into your own distinctive identity? That is exactly where we go next. You become unique the moment you dare to speak with your true voice. But let me ask you, how long have you been silencing that voice? How many times have you reshaped yourself, polished yourself, copied someone else, just to fit into a mold that was never designed for you? And after all that effort, did it make you unforgettable, or did it make you invisible? The truth is undeniable. Copying will never make you legendary. Only authenticity will, because no one remembers the echo, they remember the original. Science confirms this. The Journal of Communication reveals that when a message is unique, people remember it 4 times longer than something ordinary. 4 times. That means your true, authentic voice has a power that imitation can never touch. Think about Lady Gaga. In her early days, she was mocked, criticized, labeled as too strange, too different, too unconventional. But what they called weird, she turned into power. Her bold costumes, her raw lyrics, her refusal to blend in, that's what made her unforgettable. And today, she is not only a global superstar, she is a legend. Not because she copied the safe path, but because she carved her own. Now ask yourself, what about you? What is the voice you've been hiding? What is the unique energy only you can bring into this world? And why, after all this time, are you still dimming it down to sound like everyone else? The danger is real. If you continue silencing your uniqueness, your story will never be heard. Your song will never be sung. And the world will move on, never knowing the masterpiece you were meant to become. But the opportunity is also real. The moment you unleash your true voice, you step into a power field that only belongs to you. No one can take it, no one can copy it, no one can silence it. So here is my challenge. Will you keep whispering like an echo? Or will you roar with the voice that was born to be yours? If you are ready, then declare it. Anchor it now. Type these words in the comments. I am different. Don't just write them, own them. Because difference is not weakness. Difference is destiny. Imagine thousands of people writing the same words. I am different. That is not chaos. That is harmony. Because each voice, each difference weaves into a greater symphony that cannot be ignored. And here's the most important truth. Your uniqueness is not random. It is not an accident. It is the key to your path, the signpost for your journey, the voice that will carry you forward into a destiny no one else can walk. But uniqueness alone is not enough. Because once you dare to claim it, you must ask, how will you use it? How will you channel this rare voice, this rare energy into a story that is bigger than yourself? Because your uniqueness is not just a trait, it is potential. And potential is nothing without action. So here's the question you cannot ignore. Now that you've dared to embrace your true voice, how will you harness its full power to write the story of your life? That is exactly what we will explore next. You are the hero, and your journey has already begun. But here's the question. Have you realized it yet? Have you noticed the call whispering at the edge of your life? That restless voice inside you that says, there is more. More than this routine. More than this comfort. More than this cage disguised as safety. Every hero's journey begins with that call. The invitation to step beyond the walls of the familiar. To leave behind the illusions of certainty and enter the wild unknown. It is terrifying. It is uncertain. And yet, it is the only way to discover who you truly are. Joseph Campbell, the scholar who mapped the hero's journey, revealed a timeless pattern. The hero leaves the comfort zone, faces obstacles, trials, even failures, and then, transformed by wisdom and strength, returns to the world with treasures not only for themselves, but for everyone they touch. This is not just mythology, it is psychology. It is the architecture of human growth. And you are living it now. Think of J.K. Rowling. She once sat in cafes, broke and rejected, her manuscript turned away dozens of times. The world told her she was not enough, but she refused to surrender. She kept walking her path, no matter how steep, no matter how painful. And the result? One of the greatest literary successes in history. Not because she was chosen, but because she chose to keep going. And so I ask you, what is your call? What trials stand before you now? What dragons of fear, doubt, and rejection are you meant to face? And most importantly, what wisdom waits for you on the other side of the struggle? Because you are not just surviving life, you are shaping a myth. Your myth, your legend, the story future generations could tell if only you dare to live it fully. But here's the danger. If you ignore the call, your story collapses, the hero never awakens, and the treasures meant for you, knowledge, growth, destiny, remain buried forever. So what will it be? Will you step forward into the fire of your own journey, or retreat back into the shadows of what if? Pause, breathe, feel it. That pulse in your chest is the same rhythm that has carried every hero before you, from ancient warriors to modern creators. It is the reminder that your path is waiting, and only you can walk it. Declare it now. If you believe your journey matters, if you believe your story is worth living, then type these words in the comments. I am the hero of my own story. Do not hesitate. Do not wait, because your destiny does not wait. It demands action now. And here's the final question, the one that brings everything together. After all of this, after the signs, the fears, the victories, the awakening, what will you choose to carry forward as the ultimate lesson for yourself? That is where we go next. Every sign you've seen, every whisper you felt, every decision you made in the heat of the moment was never random. It was a step, a piece of the greater path you were meant to walk. Let this truth sink in. Consciousness creates reality. Fear is only an illusion, an echo designed to keep you small. But you are the hero. Not someday, not in another lifetime, right now. Think back through everything we've explored together, the missed signs that haunt you, the intuition that powerful people trusted, the courage to act in seconds, the fire of facing fear, the awakening of your inner strength, the authenticity that connects you to your higher self, the bond you create when you share, the unique voice that cannot be copied, and the hero's journey that only you can walk. Do you see it now? This wasn't just a video, it was a mirror, a reflection of the path that has been waiting for you all along. And here's where it becomes real. Commitment. A man in Chicago once left a simple comment under a video just like this. He wrote, "I am ready." At that time, he didn't fully believe it. He just wanted to try. But something shifted. A few months later, he shared his story. That tiny commitment sparked a chain reaction. He changed his career. He rebuilt his confidence. He found a new direction for his life, all because of one small choice to declare his readiness. So I ask you, what will your choice be? What words will you leave here as a commitment to yourself? Write them now. Just type, I commit. Simple, but powerful. Because once those words are written, the universe takes notice. It is the signal that you are ready to step fully into your path. And while you do that, lock in this moment. Hit like. Save this video. Share it with those you care about, because maybe they too are waiting for a sign. Be the one to hand it to them. Subscribe now and turn on notifications, because this journey doesn't end here. Every new video is another step, another reminder, another spark to keep you moving forward. And finally, thank you. Of all the millions of videos out there, you chose this one. That choice matters. Your presence here matters. Your story matters. Help us grow this space by leaving your feedback in the comments. Your words are the fuel that allows us to bring greater value, deeper insights, and more transformation to you and to thousands of others. So once more, I invite you, commit, declare it, write it, then like, share, and spread this energy. Because when one person commits, they change their life. But when thousands commit together, they can change the world. And now, it is your turn. What will you declare for yourself right here, right now?